So, we had a good weekend so far, mostly. It was positive, overall, majority. I actually cooked on, was it Saturday or Sunday? Oh, Saturday and Sunday. I made some good omelets on Saturday, but then I made some steaks both Sunday morning and Sunday evening. So, double steaks. No, wait a minute, the steaks were on Saturday and then Sunday evening. That's right, the omelet was Sunday morning. I think I might have gotten it mixed up, but, yeah. Then I had the steaks with some macaroni and cheese and baked beans and slaw. Wish I could have made mashed potatoes or something, or baked potatoes, but I didn't have any more potatoes left. I had two really small ones. That would not have been enough for all three of us. But unless we split the portions up majorly, but it still wouldn't have been the same. I remember, fun story, random fact, when I was little, I really hope you can still actually see and hear me. This is close enough, but anyway, I remember when I was little, and we were at Charlie's, and I thought when they asked super salad, they would say, "You want super salad?" And I said, "I'll try that." And honestly, the way they said it actually sounded like that's what they were saying. So I had thought they said super salad, like superhero, and I literally thought they said super salad. Rosie's looking at me. She's right up there. She's looking at me just like right now. Aren't you, Kitty? She loves to headbutt you. Like she really, like literally loves to headbutt you. That's what she loves to do. Rosie's in here, Maui's in the other room. I had Scamper and Lisa in here yesterday with them, but they're really, all these cats are just, they're so awesome. Alright, so yeah, they asked for a super salad and I thought it was super salad, so I was like, that sounds great, a really big salad. It's a super salad. No, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, here comes a super salad. Okay, but, alright, so I watched this video on YouTube called Wake Up, the 90s is calling, or something, 90s are calling, or something like that, to that nature. So, do any of you get this nostalgic feel when you're watching something that brings you back to that moment? So, this YouTube video in particular was a YouTube short where it had a VCR and a TV, and they put the VHS in there, and they were like, click, click, finally got it in there. And really, the tech behind a VHS is amazing. The technology behind the VCR was really astounding to think about. I mean, it took the magnetics on the tape and the rollers, and it bent it, and then it read the magnetics and the electromagnetics on it, and turned it into visual and audio entertainment. And just kind of like DVDs, except DVDs use lasers, a laser disc to read the bumps, and each set is zeros and ones, and those bumps are like, it's amazing how much data is stored in hard disk drives, micro SD cards, SD cards, hard drives themselves. It's just DVDs and CDs store more than people could have imagined in the past, and then now we have terabytes of data in something this size right here. It's just amazing, which this is actually a 400 gig. I don't hardly ever get those, usually get 32 to 64 gigs anymore. Every once in a while 128, but these were too expensive. I got this on sale for $12, I think. 12 or 15 back on Prime Day from years ago. But yeah, anyway, the technology behind that was really fascinating for the time. And when Sony was the first company. Sony was the very first to make a Blu-ray player. And my PDPS 590 is still in there. The original wired Blu-ray player is still in here in the living room. And I might put a disc in every once in a while in it. Even though I still every once in a while go and get a DVD or Blu-ray from the store, it's still got the nostalgic feel. You just can't explain the 90s and early 2000s feel. You try to make it home to watch your favorite show. A lot of times, if you were like myself, you didn't have cable or satellite, but you still got to watch PBS Kids or Nick on CBS or ABC Kids or what was it? It was not ABC Family. Disney's One Saturday Morning. Yeah, Disney's One Saturday Morning. Or, I think NBC had Nick Jr., I believe. And then Fox would have Fox Kids. And the CW would air Kids WB. They just don't do that stuff anymore. Because they have services like Boomerang, or some of their shows and cartoons, they do probably on Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu, or you can find them online somewhere. Not going to say where, but you can find them online. Some of them, shows included. Or you can go to YouTube and find some things, but it's just different than what it was. But there's something nostalgic about. You might know. If any of you grew up in the 90s, tell me you know what I'm talking about. When the teacher would roll the TV into the hall and you could hear that TV coming, and when you saw the TV coming into the room with the VCR down below it, you knew that a free day was commencing, that a free day had began. It has begun. And you knew you could put everything aside, most likely, and have a free day. Not sure what that was, but anyway. Maybe it was Maui, the other cat. But yeah, you knew, you could just feel it. And when a tornado hit, we were watching Chicken Little. And in 5th grade, they wheeled the TV in. And it said in the movie, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And everything was turning dark. And suddenly, over the intercom, they stated, we are in a code black, or was it orange or blue? Something black and something blue. Oh man, that was a good SNL sketch. Look that up. It is Kenan Thompson, Andy Samberg, Bill Hader, Betty White, and Jason Sudeikis. Ain't no Wizard of Oz, because this here is real. That's hilarious. You should look that up. Wizard of... I bleeped it here. Wizard of... Instead of Wizard of Oz, she said Wizard of... Yeah. Betty White. Oompa-doompa-doopity-doo. A king of Jamaicans come before you. The Scared Straight sketches they did on SNL, those were pretty good. I also like the Jamie Foxx sketch they did, but they took that off the internet. That ninja sketch. The K-pop sketch. Or J-pop, as they called it, I think. People say everything is too sensitive anymore. Where everything, oh, that's just too, you can't do that, it's it's sensitive material. It's like, really, people? We were taught to grow up when I was, well, anyway, whatever. But anyway, grow up, grow up, grow up, grow up. But anyway, I don't like to offend anyone, obviously, but I just thought those sketches or skits were funny. But yeah, they said, back to the story of Chicken Little and the tornadoes. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. That's when the alert came on, and they told us to go to the basement. We had to line up single file. My mama finally, she was able to get there. She saw it was in Ashland City. Something told her to get up, and she said she drove all the way to that school, and she was there. And the tornado was right there. She just barely missed it, and it ripped up the entire city. It ripped everything to shreds. Vehicles were twisted. Metal and wood was just twisted like splinters. And my mama got out and left the Kia running, the vehicle running that we had at the time. She got out, and that thing was just, it was just barely running. But she got out and left that thing running. And they told her, come on, get in here, the tornadoes are there. And they were right over the hills. The hills protected the school that I was in. I mean, it went around us. And she narrowly missed it. And we narrowly missed it. I mean, I just barely was safe. But she was there with us, and there with me in the basement. And we had to take so many alternative routes home. There was no cell service, no good cell signal back then. You couldn't just call and talk on the phone from anywhere. A lot of the phone lines were down. If you were lucky enough to find someone with a cell phone, you could call, but we tried to call home at this old country store, and they let us use their phone. But a lot of the lines were down, so back then you either used a payphone, or you used a payphone, or you asked someone if they had a phone, or you could ask to use the landline phone at a local business or mom and pop shop, or you could stop at hopefully stop at a store and find service. But since a lot of the towers were down, their phones didn't have much signal. I think it was in the Motorola phone days, basically. Back then it was Verizon, but Verizon charged us so many overage fees and so much for so many minutes, and they hoodooed us. They were doing that to a lot of people back then. They were doing them wrong. They had lawsuits on it and everything. Wish we could have gotten something out of it. That would have been awesome. But, you know, life is life. But thank goodness we barely missed those tornadoes. They were awful. And 2 tornadoes had merged together into one. And we talked to the, I don't know if it was the Salvation Army. National Guard, sorry. We spoke to the National Guard, and they said they didn't tell the truth about it. He said in actuality, it was 2 tornadoes that merged into one and made a super tornado. And it got bad. It twisted the metal of all of the metal towers that hold the cables, the electric lines, the network cables, and the cell towers that were available at the time. Everything was not instantaneous and as connected as it is now. But everything that was there got twisted and just destroyed. Things went missing. People did not know where anything went. Some things went who knows how far, maybe hundreds of miles. They found some of the items. But it was just a similar scenario took place 2007, nearby, just a few miles from us. We just barely missed it. Once again, I had an encounter recently that I posted. If you remember last year in March, the tornadoes just barely missed us. Same thing but we've been protected so far, and I hope they remain that way. Tuesday is supposed, Tuesday, Super Tuesday, again. It's supposed to get rough this coming week. Really bad and severe, strong storms, and I hope we miss them. And I hope the squall lines and the systems remain weaker and we stay safe. But back then you had to search to try to find a phone and alternative routes. And you didn't know where you were back then. There was no GPS, no internet, no phone service, no instant communication. There was another we just barely missed too. There was spiky hail from it and everything. But thank goodness we made it. But I hope they miss us this time. Hope you'll enjoy this